Yeah, that's the way it's going to be. See? Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, welcome back to the show. Yes, welcome back to the show. This is episode 439 of the Two Dumb Yinzers,
Whoa,
and
whoa.
it is time. It is time every Friday, baby. Yeah, Mike,
Victory Friday.
Victory Friday. And I tell you what, Victory Friday, there's so much to talk about, man. In such in a game where such little happened,
A lot happened.
a lot happened. To be honest, I don't even know where to start. Let me just look real quick. Okay, the world's coming to an end. Austin Hedges wins a World Series. Chase Claypool catches a touchdown, and Deontay Johnson catches a touchdown. Mike, you can't even call this coincidence anymore. You can't even. Come on, these are things. DJ hasn't caught a touchdown pass in 669 days, man.
It's a long time coming.
Woo!
He
You know what?
saved
It
it.
feels
He
good.
saved it. It does feel good.
Wow. Of course, everybody. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers get a big win last night. They win 20-16 over the Titans. That puts them at 5-3, the same record as the 49ers, and only a game behind Mike, only a game behind the Chiefs, the Jaguars, the Ravens, and the Dolphins.
How it makes no sense to me. I love our schedule. I love the slate of opponents that we have
You
to
know what?
go
It
against.
uh, um at this time we are the number 5 seed in the playoffs. If the playoffs were to start today, excuse me, there would be 4 division winners, and then there would be us, and then there would be Buffalo, and then there would be Cleveland. If the playoffs started today, this weekend we would be playing the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, that would be a good matchup.
Mike, if you could beat anybody out of this list, it would be the. I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm just saying on the the course that we know this team better than anybody.
Yeah,
We probably
it's
could
the
play this team
Ravens.
better than anybody. Mike, if the playoffs started today, there's a chance that we could be moving on to the second round. Think
Isn't that
about this.
wild?
Think about that for a minute, man.
With the team that we have making it to the second round,
Yeah,
I, I'd call you crazy if you actually like told me in the beginning of the season that you believe that would happen. Like, you're nuts. But the way
Mike.
the season has gone, the way the upsets we have seen throughout this year, bad teams dragging good teams down to their level, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
On the schedule next, we have Green Bay. we
That's a
host
winnable game.
we host Green Bay, which is a totally winnable game. And then we travel to Ohio for a couple of weeks. We have Cleveland at Cleveland, and then we play at Cincinnati. Which but you would one normal person would say, you know what, maybe the Steelers should lose, maybe the Steel, but you know what, at this point in the season and the way things have gone, can you really, give an honest prediction on what you think this team is going to do week to week? I can't tell you if they're going to win. I can't tell you if they're going to lose. I just think that it's going to be unpredictable. And
Mm-hmm.
you know what? And if we get a chance to have the ball last, we have a chance to win a football game. And it's crazy because again, not much happens between the first and the third quarter. And I have a theory though, Mike.
Okay, I'm ready for it. I
Here's
love
my
a good
theory.
theory.
My theory is this: if they keep going this rate and only play the fourth quarter of every game, that's going to put them at the equivalent of 4 games played at the end of the season. Once they get this, once they get to week 17, it's going to be the equivalent of 4 games and one quarter played.
So they'll be well rested.
They'll be well rested. They'll be more rested than anybody else going into the playoffs, and maybe they could, use that energy to, compete in the playoffs. That's my theory.
Yeah, because the offense isn't putting out any effort at all those first three quarters. It seems like the defense, though, the defense might be worn out by that point,
Yeah,
but the offense will be well rested to where
defense is going
we'll
to be
be
in
able to take
bad
care of it.
shape.
Oh, that oh don't yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but huge loss to the defense again,
Absolutely.
again, again. We get someone back, we lose someone.
And you got to look at it this way. I mean, come on, you get Ham Kayward back, but then you kind of put it in perspective. You're like, all right, we lost Minka last week,
Yeah,
so you get Cam back. So okay, you give a little, you take a little, and you know
yeah.
what, we were
Lose
okay.
on the back end, gain on the front end. Okay.
So then Cole Holcomb. Now I don't know the
Ooh.
seriousness of this injury, but it doesn't look good, Mike.
No, Tomlin said last night after the game that it is a serious knee injury. So I'm
Oh
assuming
man.
he's done for the year. That's like an ACL, MCL, PCL combination thereof.
And
I'm just speculating, but if it's like a meniscus tear, that those suck, but you can come back from them quickly. But ACL, I'm assuming it's an ACL to where he's done for the year, which
and
sucks because he's been playing lights out.
so a couple things happened, with this going on. We knew we knew that some of these guys that we were bringing over in the offseason, they were injury prone. So if you lose somebody to injury, it's not so much of a surprise. So also during the offseason, we said, you know what, knowing this, maybe we're going to work on depth and bring a couple extra
Mm-hmm.
guys in, which we did. And Quan
Mm-hmm.
Alexander stepped up
That was huge.
greatly at the end of the game, of course, getting the interception that shut the door on the game. So I mean, a lot of things happened that we have anticipated
Yeah.
might happen, and they did happen. So I mean, we are where we are. There's no real big surprises at this point, except for the fact that we are by record one of the better teams in the league.
Yeah. Yeah. If you just look at the record, don't look at the tape, you'd be like, oh yeah, they're a good team, man. They're a contender. Look out for them. They're a sleeper contender. But our play doesn't in spurts, our play shows we can probably hang with some of these teams, but over a full 60-minute game, I don't think so. But you know what? I'm happy. It's a victory day. You know, I'm happy. I'm happy. There's negatives to talk about this game, but there's more positives to take away from this game than there are negatives. I was pleasantly surprised that we won. I thought at the end there it was going to slip out of our grasp,
Mike, isn't this the
but
same exact game that we've been talking about? We're going to see
yeah,
every
we
week,
drag everyone down to our
week
level.
in, week out. We said this is going to be a 5 to 7 point win. They won, 20-16. I mean, same ballpark. You know what I'm talking about. And and the team did exactly what they do every other
Yeah,
week. That we're not, a game in a game that we don't get blown out. We get the ball at the end of the game. We drive down the field and we score a touchdown. And
yeah,
it's there's again there's nothing unexpected as these things are. It's becoming a norm here in Pittsburgh because it is what it is, and it is super bizarre. And we're gonna talk about numbers here in the show that's going to just it's going to concrete that and solidify that and make people understand what's really going on here.
yeah. And I'm looking at numbers now. It's like, whew, like people I thought like eye test wise didn't have a really good game. You look at their stats; they had a pretty good game, but
Yeah.
it was a
When's Pat
it was a
Fryermuth?
typical Steeler game. You know, like I said, man, we luckily Tennessee's at our level. We didn't have to drag them down to our level for the most part, but it was a good game all around. I thought it was just a fun game to watch.
What is
It-
Muth's status at the moment? Do you know?
he is still out. I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything recently to update his status.
We
Other
we
than that, he's still out, man.
um
On October 21st, he was replaced on the injured reserve. So that's like another 4 weeks
mm,
from that date. So yeah,
speaking of 4 weeks, do you know it's been over a month? October 1st, the last time that Kenny threw an interception. The loss against Houston. So, in some areas, you could definitely see improvement in his game. Other areas,
yeah,
you're still kind of
he's taking care
waiting.
of the ball more.
He's definitely taking care of the ball more. But that was just a number I did have on the side here. Let's continue. Um, let's see. Let's go down some stats, Mike. Jalen Warren, 11 carries for 88 yards. That guy's a bowling ball, man.
He is, man, and he quick to the hole, quick to make a decision. Man, he's tough to bring down, man. Like
And
they
when
were
this
talking
team,
about that
yeah,
during the broadcast, how hard it is for teams to bring him down. Like you look at him, like yeah, he's their quote unquote speed guy, but he's like built like a bowling ball, like you said, and he's just hard to tackle.
and if the offense works the way that you'd like to see it to work, where both of these running backs could be productive as they
Mm-hmm.
were last night, then it's a really good thing that's going on. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of times whenever we're losing or things aren't going the way we don't want them to, people start talking at this about Najee, that about starting Jalen. You know what? But when things are hitting on all cylinders and things are going the way that they're supposed to go, I love this combination. Again, it's
I
11 yards. I mean, I'm
mhm.
sorry, 11 carries for Jalen Warren for 88 yards. Also, Mike on the for Najee Harris, 16 carries for 69 yards,
Yep.
one touchdown. Uh,
They both had long 20 plus runs. Najee with the 25, Jalen with the 22. And that's what this offense is missing is you don't have to, break off 80-yard touchdown runs, but those 20-yarders every once in a while, man, that demoralizes the defense.
yeah, Steeler freak on the board. I agree. He is like the Tasmanian devil.
He is.
He's like the you know what? If Troy Polamalu and Hines Ward would have had a baby, it would be Jalen Warren. He just would be. I don't know why. I just that's what I
We
see.
just lost a viewer on that visual.
Yeah, I just seen the numbers go down. Let's see what else.
I think that should increase viewership, man. That's some fanfic right there we can tap into, boys.
Oh, you just wait.
Ooh.
Just wait. It gets worse.
Oh God.
Um, Also, Mike, the receiving wise, we had DJ led the way with seven. Boy, did he have a night!
Oh, he
He had
had a
seven
night.
catches, 90 yards, his first touchdown in 669 days. I can't be happier. And here's the thing: I love shitting on DJ because he was such an easy target for the past
Oh yeah.
669 days. But I'm going to be honest with you. I am really I'm happy for him.
Yeah, how can you not be? Because you can see that he cares. He
Yeah,
he loves.
that
He's
that
that guy who.
smile on his face after he
Yeah.
got that touchdown was
Oh yeah, it
unbelievable.
was unreal. And like the team's reaction to him getting that touchdown
Yeah,
too. That shows you how much they care about DJ. And he, we saw it last week too. Like when they had to carry him off the field, he kept coming back in playing hurt. You can see how
right.
much he loves football, loves to compete, and for him to get that touchdown.
He didn't run backwards. I like
No,
that.
yeah, he put his foot in the ground a couple times to get that
I
extra
got
yard
up the field.
forward.
I
It's like
like that.
he's listening to you, Ryan. He's listening
He
to
is
you.
listening to me.
And like he had what like one drop on like the play before his touchdown, or like he should have caught it. Stupid auto play in the background. My lord. But but yeah, he bounced back.
He
He had
caught
that
everything that came
game
to him. There
drop.
was no,
Yeah, like what,
the
7 catches,
Butterfingers
nine
were
targets.
gone.
Yeah.
The running backwards is gone.
That catch down the sideline that
Oh,
might
that
have been
catch down the
that,
sideline.
that might have been Pickett's best throw of his career, threading the needle right there. It's a big time throw and a big time catch too on the
Yeah.
sideline, man.
I tell you what, as much as I mean, there are things that I do want to say negative, but I'm going to keep it positive today.
Like
There are things, you know what I mean, and I
yeah,
think
there
that we
are
could all
nitpicks we
acknowledge.
can. Yeah, there are some issues, glaring
But
issues.
but
They found a way to win.
but we're 5-3. We have the same record as the 49ers. And again, we're only one game behind the Chiefs, the Dolphins, Jaguars, and the Ravens. Say what you will about this football team. But
We
at the
will.
moment,
I will.
but
But
but, but
somehow
here we
we're
are.
holding it
We're
together.
sitting in the 5 spot in the AFC at the moment. And as I said, my theory is they're saving their energy. They're playing one quarter a game to get the equivalent of 4 quarters in 4 games in 1 quarter under their belts to go
Yeah.
into the playoffs to
Uh-huh.
have the energy of a 5-year-old. And then they're gonna run wild, man. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna run wild in the playoffs.
You know what? I'll take the near heart attacks every week, the near cardiac arrests every week for if it gets us at least to the second round. I'm willing to die for this team to make it to the second round. So
And another thing,
don't ever question my fandom when I criticize a player. I'm willing to die to get this team to the second round of the playoffs. So not a Super Bowl,
I'd be willing
the
for you to
second
die too
round.
for this team to get to the second round. And here's the thing: as I mentioned
Thanks,
earlier,
bro.
if the playoffs started today, we would play the Ravens, and that's the most
And
winnable
that's
game
a
that we
coin
could
flip
possibly
game.
have. I think in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah, that's a coin flip game, It's always tight with us, and we've been finding ways to win recently against them. So, you know what? I think we should just start the playoffs now. I think it's only fair to make
Yeah,
up for that COVID year when we had to play what like 8 games in 3 nights or
right.
3 games in 8 days when every other team,
That's
had
right.
had games canceled when their starting quarterback got sick. Ours gets sick. So it's like, oh no, you gotta go out there and play with your backup.
I
So I think
honestly,
now the league should just lock us in as the 5 seed right now, no matter what our record is. Pay us back for that.
with that being said, I said I wasn't going to say anything negative, and this really isn't negative. But listen to this number, Mike, guys. At 5-3, hear me out. The Steelers are the 34th team since 1933. Okay. They're the 34th team in 100 years, almost 90 years, when rushing and receiving stacks were first tracked to be outgained in each of their first 8 games of a season. Okay. They're only the 34th team to be outgained in every single game of the season. They're the only one that has a winning record with that situation. To be outgained in every single one of your first 8 games, only 34 teams have done it since 1933. We're the only one to do it that has a winning record. The Steelers are also the only team this season to be outgained in every game, and they've been outgained by negative 790 yards. Second worst to only the Broncos, who've been outgained by 830 yards.
Ooh. Yeah,
And they give up 70 points to the
yeah.
Dolphins.
Something like the Steelers defense is like what 30th in yards allowed, but like 18th in scoring, and
Yeah.
some weird stat like that. We'll give up a ton of yards, but like scoring, kind of like
Yeah.
just around the middle of the pack. But you got to figure that first game against San Francisco is still kind of skewing the numbers. A lot of our games have been close.
You figure
But,
two of Kenny's interceptions were in that San Francisco game.
yeah,
2 of the 4. So I mean,
yeah,
literally from week 2, he only had 2 interceptions. So there's a lot of things, as you
yeah.
said, that
It's
San Francisco put a lot of
San Francisco and the
really put us behind
Texans
the 8
game.
ball with a lot of statistics.
Yeah, the 49ers and the Texans where you lost, 30-7 and 30-6. Every other
Yeah.
game has been close.
And that
That
was
Jacksonville
3.
game was only a 10-point loss. Every other game has been tight.
Those the 3 of the 4 interceptions were in those 2 games right there that you mentioned, Houston and San Fran. Again, with many other statistics that we could also get into, but off the top of my head, I
Yeah.
do, I do know this. Also, Mike, the next thing, a couple things that I think concern me, but don't concern me is this. We hit 9 different receivers last night.
Yeah.
Okay. But the next leading receiver was Jalen Warren with 3 catches and 25 yards.
Yeah.
And then George Pickens, Mike, 2 catches for -1 yard.
Yeah.
Last week he had 1 catch for 22 yards. In
Yeah.
2 weeks, that's 3 catches for 20 yards.
Yeah.
Make
A
that make
touchdown,
sense.
but a touchdown
It
somehow.
was a great touchdown.
He should have had a touchdown last night. He should have got his foot down. He had plenty of
Oh,
room.
come on. I know,
The
man.
tons of room. A number one receiver, a true
And he
number
knows
one makes
better.
that
He
catch.
makes that catch every week, Mike.
Mhm. And
On
you saw
sidelines
his
or
body language in this game. He didn't look too pleased. I don't know,
yeah.
not pleased with
He looks
himself,
off.
not pleased with the offense, not pleased with getting targets. He had 5 balls thrown to him, so
Mike, he looks off or something about him
he
looks
does look
off.
off. He just does not look like his normal self that we're used to seeing. What we saw last year and this year. But I don't know. He needs to sort it out because the team needs him. Yeah,
You
yeah,
think
we're
Coach
winning
T
right now.
lets Canada go back up to the press box, or is he on
Probably not.
a sideline the rest of his
He's got to
career
be on
as
the
long as he's
sideline the
here?
rest of the way. He has to, man.
I can't imagine under any circumstances anybody would say, yeah, go back up to the press box. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but like, did you see Canada? Marching down the sidelines,
I liked
pumping
it.
fists and stuff. He was showing more
We
emotion on the
resembled a
sideline
football
than
team
he did
last
in the
night.
booth. It was like, yeah, he was around the guys. Hey, you didn't notice like him and Kenny communicating a whole lot, but that's why the quarterback coach is there.
Right,
So
right.
that doesn't bother me at all. I thought he called a damn good game. It was a damn good game, scheming people open. But this is sports. Things are going well. Don't move him back up to the booth. Don't
And
move him back
people
up.
and people and I don't discredit this, but people have said to me over the past couple of weeks, it's better to be lucky than good. I
Yeah,
don't think we're lucky. I think we are what we are. I think that we're
yeah,
scrappy. I don't think that we're a great football team. But as you said, if we'll pull you down to our level,
yeah,
we'll beat you around, you beat us around, and at the
yeah,
end of the day, we might stand up at the end of the fight. I don't think that we're lucky. I
yeah.
think that we are what we are, and that's what you're going to
Yeah,
get, and that's what you got last season after the bye, and we went on that. It's what we are. There's no other explanation. It's not
no,
luck. You can't call all these wins, 5 wins this year, all those wins. You can't call that luck. It is what we are,
yeah, and
and I don't even know how to explain what it is.
like how can Kenny he sucks for 3 quarters, then and is lucky in the fourth quarter. No, he
Right?
just plays better in the pressure situation. It plays better for him. That defense, when they're getting pressed, they seem to play better as well. This team needs adversity to play
Yeah.
well for some reason
Right.
to get their
Right.
they they're like that boxer that needs to get punched in the mouth a couple times to go, oh, okay, we're fighting. Okay, let's go.
Yes.
You know?
That's yes, yes.
And
Like
so
he's like a nice guy, but then you
yeah,
punch him in the mouth and he'll beat the
yeah.
shit out of you, like that guy.
Yeah. And how many years have we seen the like really good Steeler teams play these teams and we get sucked down to their level? Now we're that team. We're sucking teams down to our level.
Yes.
For right now, for the talent level that we have, that's what we gotta have to do. We gotta suck people down to
Right.
our level. We're starting to see some of that talent show up. Najee was playing the way you want to see him play. He was running hard, finishing his runs. Deontay was, like we said, lights out. That offensive line was playing a hell of a game. Hell of a game. Broderick Jones, I think putting him on the right and keeping Dan Moore on the left, because the way Broderick Jones was using that run game, pulling from right to left, what he did, that sparked that run game. So younger guys on offense are starting to get better. Like
You
you
know what's
said,
funny about
Pickett
Broderick?
hasn't thrown a pick in like 4 games, so that's good. He's taking care of the ball. He's starting to take more chances now. I think
He's
that's
doing it
what
more confidently,
I
and
think that's what holding
he's not
him back.
squirrely. He hasn't looked squirrely in a couple of weeks to where
No,
he just freaks out in
he's
the.
yeah,
He's. I
yeah,
think he's
his
finally settling in, Mike.
yeah, because there was a while there, like his pocket presence, he looked like that freshman quarterback starting a varsity game.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
zero pocket awareness, and he still has those moments, but they're
Right.
they're becoming fewer and fewer. But when they happen, oh my god, are they in the worst times?
Right.
Where he runs right into pressure where just settle down. But if he can settle down, I don't think he's going to be a top 10 quarterback in this league ever. I put him in that. If he's just a mid-tier quarterback, that's all this team really needs him to be.
Right.
Because you have the weapons on offense to be an okay quarterback that they can carry you. They can get the ball in Deontay's hand, get the ball in Pickens' hands, and they will take it from there. Get that running game going, and then hey, if we need you, you've shown you can play in the clutch.
Yeah.
Just let
Right.
those guys
Can you just make
go.
the whole
Yeah,
game in clutch for
yeah, yeah. He doesn't have to be the guy until
Right.
he needs to be the guy. You know what I mean? Where Ben and Mahomes and Brady, they can be the guy from wire to wire in a game. Kenny, he's like the guy at the end of the game. And for some odd reason, that's just the way
He's
he
like the
is.
closing pitcher. He's
Yeah.
like a he's like a Roldis Chapman
Yeah.
from
It takes him a while to get
Texas.
going. Maybe, in the future, it'd be nice if because we saw Ben towards the latter part of his career take him like that first quarter to get going.
Right. You know what else was
What
nice to see, Mike?
it's taking Kenny 3 quarters. How about you just get like a drive or two, then get going?
And
That's what I want to see from
and
him.
if you're tuning in now, don't I don't
We're
want to
not
leave
bashing.
we're under the impression that we're talking great that this team is going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh no, no.
We're I'm again we're talking and we're telling how it is, and when they play bad, we tell you the bad things they do. When they play good and win,
Yeah.
we talk about the good things. So I'm going to get comments later,
Yeah.
about
But
no, I don't think this team is winning the Super Bowl. So
no. No, but you
um
have to enjoy the wins. We're
you
still
have to enjoy the
at
wins.
heart, we're still fans. So when they win, I'm happy when they win. You know?
Like the pass caught by Mount Washington was encouraging because he catches the ball and falls forward 19 yards because he's so large.
He's like a redwood out there, man.
I
There's a
would
big old
love to see
sequoia.
them go with this guy a little bit more in the red zone and down when they're in
Yeah.
near the end zone. He's so big, man. It was so nice
Yeah.
to see so many different players catch balls. As
Yeah.
I said, it was
Yeah.
nine different receivers,
hmm It
and that's what
reminded me
we've
of
been
like,
lacking because last week there was
yeah.
like four guys that caught the ball, and you
Yeah.
can't have just four guys. I mean, come on, it's an
No.
NFL football game.
Unless you're,
Ugh.
unless you're like the Dolphins and your four guys
Right?
catching the ball or getting like 100
We
yards
don't have
each.
Tyreek Hill,
We don't
so
have Tyreek Hill. We don't have Devontae Adams. But
oh yeah,
this reminded me of like a Ben type passing game. Spread the ball out, get everyone involved, so you don't know who to key on, and that
yeah.
was huge.
That's what we
Even
have
like
to do. We
yeah,
got to we got to figure out a way to keep the defense on their
honest,
heels.
yeah,
Because if we do, that's how we're going to be able to play better. Because you have to keep things
mhm,
open. Otherwise, they're going to focus on one certain thing,
yeah,
and that leads to disaster. No matter who you are, we just
hmm
have to get over that hump and be able to
yeah,
be a team that's versatile enough to put that perception out there to where you can't just say, okay, we're going to stop the run, and then when Kenny
yep,
goes to throw the ball, we're doing the right things.
yeah.
We're
And
moving
this
in the right
team,
direction.
and they can't be afraid to take shots downfield. And if that pass fails, that's okay. You're taking the shot that's loosening up the defense. Don't let that affect your next play call.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of the times they're afraid to call that deep pass because if it fails, they're like, oh shit, how are we going to get a first down? Because it's this offense, like right now, they need every yard they can get, and
You know
they're
what? And
afraid to
damn,
take that deep shot. Take the deep shot. They did it to Calvin Austin. It didn't work. It was underthrown. It went through his hand. No matter how you want to say it, at least they took a shot.
we're
You got to
pretty
take a shot, keep them
successful
honest.
down the sidelines. If we go, like
Mm,
10 yards
yeah,
or more, those are usually very successful passes for us.
yeah.
For whatever reason, that's a very difficult throw. I
Yeah, that
mean,
that back shoulder throw
oh
and
man.
catch, it's a hard throw and it's a hard catch to make.
And for this quarterback and these two main receivers,
Yeah,
it's like what they do best.
yeah. You normally, like your slant pass, that should be an easy one. A little out route should be an easy one. No, let's throw the deep, deep back shoulder pass. But no,
Mike,
they just can't be afraid to have incompletions on deep passes. Don't even be afraid to throw an interception. Get intercepted. Guess what? You have one of the best defenses in the league at causing turnovers. They might get the ball back for you. Don't be
yeah,
afraid to take shots. And don't let turnovers discourage you, man. That's what I think is part of it holding this defense back, or excuse me, offense back, is they're afraid to take chances.
I do want to go over to defense for a moment, Mike. Landon Roberts, he leads the game for the Steelers. Excuse me, with 4 tackles, 5 assisted tackles. Highsmith 2 sacks last night. T.J. Watt
Yeah.
gets a sack without his helmet, which was pretty cool to see.
Oh, they counted that as a full sack. Okay. I
Yes,
thought
they
it might have
did
been
give
a
him a
half
full
sack because
sack.
someone hit him beforehand. Good. I didn't scroll all the way down. That's good.
So yes, in that, and
He
then
had a little bit of a bounce back game.
Marcus Golden also had a sack. Yeah, he's looked tough the past couple weeks, Marcus
Yeah.
Golden. And
Yeah.
then now with, like I said, even though it's the inside linebacker position, you still like to see depth at linebackers
Hmm.
overall. I like what Marcus Golden is doing at his position. And he's, like I said, he's being productive for what he is the past couple weeks. You got to love to see that. And then also the Quan Alexander interception at the
Oh,
end of the
that was
game.
beautiful.
You know what? I wouldn't have cared who it was. It
It
could have been
just
anybody.
when Darius Rush
Yeah.
went right through his hand, I was like, that would have been a great way to make your Steeler debut.
And you got to say, I mean, this Will Levis. I mean, they're pretty much chalking him up as God down there in Tennessee.
He
It's
played a hell of a game.
he played a hell of a game. And here's the thing: there's a reason he was supposed to be a top quarterback. I mean,
Hmm.
we all know the story. We know how he dropped a little bit, but you know what? He was good. He's good. He's a good quarterback. Of course he played at Penn State briefly before he went to Kentucky. And this guy's a good quarterback. I think he's going to have a good career. And I think that they're going to love him in Tennessee because they haven't had a good quarterback
Yeah.
in such a long time. And that's why he's going to be the
Hmm.
Ben. Remember how Ben was,
Yeah.
God sent us. That's going to be, I think, what Will Levis is going to be for these guys.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's good.
He's a fiery guy.
I like him.
You saw him. He was out there talking trash, taking the trash talk back, getting his team fired up. And it wasn't it wasn't that annoying Philip Rivers type
Right.
trash talk. It was like that Ben, that Brady type fiery
Right.
thing of like, yeah. I I did not see this coming out of Will Levis when God, when that whole off season when we were going over draft stuff, just watching all this stuff, I'm like, oh my God, this guy reminds me so much of Zach Wilson. Didn't really put it up on the field, had some good numbers, but nothing that excites you. Then has this killer combine. You're like, oh, come on, this
I'm
guy's
going to
a
be
workout
honest with you.
warrior. But then he comes out last week, and then this week, his second game, he looked like he's been playing for a few years.
I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason I know about him was because of his girlfriend at
Oh,
the
she
draft
was,
night.
yeah,
And you know what that puts me in mind of? You know that meme where Homer Simpson he backs into the
yeah. The
bush.
bush that was her.
That was her on draft night. You seen her backing into the bush as he dropped. Also, Mike Boz was 2 for 2 last night. Of course, he's Mr. Automatic.
Oh
No
yeah,
problems there. I'm going to hop over to Tennessee. Mike, Derrick Henry ran for 17 times for 75 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Warren ran 11 times for 88 yards. Henry, 17 carries, 75 yards. Warren, 11 carries, 88 yards. Oh, wait, it gets better. Najee Harris, 16 carries, 69 yards. Not
yeah,
only do we have one guy that played as good or better than he did, we had two. So again,
yeah.
that's encouraging for the running game. Um, I think we held him down good
Oh yeah.
yesterday.
I was
That
surprised. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it was really nice to see that because you know this guy's going to get his yard. You know he's going to
Hmm.
get his touches. You know he's going to get his carries. And the fact that we met him at the line every time, I think with the exception of like 2 or 3 times,
Yeah.
there was
He had a 15-yard. That was
yeah.
his longest run.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
I was pleasantly surprised by that front three who was rotating in and out, man. They played a hell of a game up front.
Also, Hopkins looked good. He looked like a young man last
Yeah.
night.
Oh,
I thought to myself, I thought, you know what? Hopkins, he's got to be getting old. This is going to be, it's not going
mhm.
to. He was the best receiver on their team.
Oh yeah.
He,
The,
I
the
was impressed by him, and I also did.
the battles him and Porter Jr. had were,
I
whew,
love it.
it was
I,
great. That was damn good football.
I didn't think that either one of them was going to be to the level that they were. I thought the
Yeah.
showdown between Porter Jr. and Hopkins was good. Also, Mike, I did forget to throw the numbers out. Levis was he had 262 yards. Had no touchdowns, one interception. But as you said, it's the intangibles. It's the things that don't show up on the score sheet, I think, where you really are impressed
Hmm.
by Levis
Oh
because
yeah.
he has it. There's guys that just have it,
Yep.
and he has it. So
Yeah, he played a hell of a game. I was worried on that last drive, but whew, thank you,
yeah.
Quan.
Oh, Quan.
Because
He was
like
due for something
you
big
saw,
like that.
like you see it all the time when one guy has a chance to get a pick to end the game. The very next play, boom,
Right.
game-winning touchdown, and I thought, oh shit, here we go.
Something encouraging also with this interception that Quan had, we had no turnovers. They had the big one, of course. I mean, that
Yeah,
was the game. Also, we gave up no sacks, Mike.
yeah, that was impressive right there.
Yet we managed to rack up 4 sacks. So
The
again, we are what we are. We do what we do, and you know what?
mhm,
It's winning us football games right
yeah,
now. It's
playing tight D and this situational offense.
yeah, and yeah. And maybe, just maybe, one of these weeks they'll get on a streak like they did at this time last year and round off a bunch of games. I just know that with the schedule that we have, you mentioned earlier, there's not many. I mean, come on, the rest of the way we have 4 more division games. We haven't played Cincinnati yet, so we have them guys twice. We have
Yeah,
Baltimore again. We have Cleveland. I know we play New England. We play the Cardinals,
yeah. So
Green
we have
Bay.
the next four games are the Packers, Browns, Bengals, then Cardinals.
And
And the
who are the
Browns and
last
Bengals are
four?
both away games.
Who are the last 4 or 5 games?
After the Cardinals, it's Patriots at home, at the Colts, Bengals at home, and then at Seattle and at Baltimore to close it out.
Seattle is one team that
That
that's
that
that
mm,
yeah,
that's going to be a real tough one. Like the Bengals are coming alive, that might be a tough one, but divisional game. So
right. I think Seattle is the only team that at this point I would pick against the Steelers being the team that we know they are.
yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
But Seattle, I think, is going to be a difficult game. That's a really good football team over there, and
Yeah,
you've seen the way that they just won against whoever was in our division, Cleveland, Baltimore, whoever it was.
yeah.
So I mean,
Cleveland.
you're but besides for that, again, I mean, New England's terrible. The Cardinals are terrible. We have division games. The Packers are terrible. Who's the other team from the AFC West? I'm forgetting. We had
Arizona.
Arizona. We already played San Fran. Yeah, okay. So Mike, I mean, legitimately, this team has a decent chance to have a decent year. Again, we're not calling them the best team in football by any means.
No.
By any means. We're far from it. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, we're far from it, but hey, we're winning games. That's all that matters, man. It just get into the playoffs. You never know what happens once you're in.
Right.
You know,
Because maybe you might get
we
the
were Steelers were the first ever six seed to go on to win a Super Bowl.
let's say
Yeah,
you get
totally different
Baltimore.
team, totally different,
Let's say you play Baltimore in the
players.
first
But
round and you could scrum up a win against Baltimore because we can. And
yeah,
then let's say, in the next round, a Cleveland upsets a Cincinnati or a Buffalo or something. You know what I mean? Like things
yeah,
can happen, and
things can
and
happen. Yeah, and like we've seen it this year, man. Teams like San Francisco sitting at 5-3. Who saw that coming? No one saw that coming.
legitimately this time next week we could have a better record than the 49ers.
Yeah,
I said what I said. Who would have thought? Mike, a couple amazing things that got accomplished this week, and then we got to get into our grades for the positions. This week, Mike, Minka Fitzpatrick was voted the top safety in the league again by the Associated
nice,
Press.
nice.
Of course, Minka would like to get him back in the lineup. The other one, Mike, that I thought that you would love, and I think that most people will love the statistic, and no, I don't have the number exactly, but I have this Najee Harris just passed Cordell Stewart on the Steelers' all-time rushing list. What the number is, I don't know. I didn't look, but I do know that
That's
Najee
impressive.
just passed Cordell on the all-time rushing list, which we know Cordell had a lot of rushing yards. So
I'll kind of pull that one up here. I
yeah,
want to
check
take a
that
look
out.
here. Um, 2,561 yards.
Hey, for two
Oh,
seasons.
wait. Never mind, never mind. That's might be his passing yards.
Oh, come on.
He rushed for 2874 in his career, so that might be it. That might be it. Yeah.
Uh,
So
and you know what? Almost 3,000 yards for Najee in 2.5 seasons. He's not quite as bad as people make him out to be. Come on. That's comparable to most running backs in the league.
yeah, it is 2561 is what he had.
So there you have it. I do want to get into these grades, Mike, because we also have finished up the show today with a little bit of college football. We got big games tomorrow. We also have a little
Yep,
hockey
yep.
over the weekend. So let's jump right into our grading by position.
Let's do this.
Mike, let's start at the top of the list and go down. Quarterbacks, Mike, what grade do you give the Steeler quarterbacks for the Thursday night football game? The first game of the weekend, baby.
C plus. C
C
plus.
plus.
Had a really good first drive, really good game winning drive, but then there are some lackluster drives in there.
How was the first drive and last drive so amazing, and then everything in the middle
Everything else,
was
and then what we need when we needed him to execute like a 4-minute offense at the end to kill the
yeah,
clock, he couldn't, but he could lead the touchdown drive.
yeah,
Make it make sense, Kenny. Make it make sense.
I know.
So yeah, C plus, C plus.
Running backs, Mike, how do you grade this group of running backs from the game last night?
This was to me, this was their best game of the year. I'm gonna give them a B plus.
Yeah, you got
It's
yeah.
hard to give anyone A's right now with this team, but B plus, hell yeah, man. They had a hell of a
If
game.
I was to give the guys the running back room an A, it would be this game. But as you
Yeah,
said, I mean, we're still not blowing not
fine
blowing
then. A
people
minus. I'll
away.
give them an A minus since it was their
Yeah,
best game of the year, and they both had really good runs. They played hard. Nothing that really frustrated me with Najee. Nothing that frustrated me with Jalen. So yeah, A minus. A minus. I'm being generous.
the guys look good. They really did. Mike, let's go over to the tight end position, which a lot of it's blocking, but Mount Washington did have a nice catch. Again, nobody got through to sack our quarterback.
Yep.
And we do know that Mount Washington is a big part of the blocking scheme a lot of times. Like, what do you give the tight end position?
I'm gonna give them a B. Like you said, Washington had that catch. Connor Hayward, what 2 catches on 3 targets. The blocking looked well. No one was
Yeah,
really they weren't beat on
there was
any
nothing I hated.
rushes egregious, nothing like where they were matched up on edge rushers and got beat. So yeah, give them a B, a solid grade.
Go a little bit further out, Mike. What do you think of the wide receivers? Again, 9 different people hit.
Mm.
Um, uh, DJ gets his first touchdown in 669 days. He has 7 catches, 90 yards, and that touchdown. All the way down to Pickens with his 2 catches in the minus
Yeah.
1 yard that kind of throws you off. Where does that round out a grade with you?
Round out just an average between all of them. It was like a C plus.
Yeah,
Like Deontay, I would give him an A
right.
on his own, and then everyone else, my God, they were just average.
Yeah. I
Average.
don't, I can't, I'm having a hard time reading what that body language is on Pickens right
Yeah,
now. I don't
it's
like
very.
it.
I don't like it either. Like, is he mad at himself? Is he mad at
Right.
Kenny? Is he mad at Canada? What's going on? You should be mad at
Right.
yourself, buddy.
Right. It's hard to tell.
But
Offensive
he,
line.
uh,
They gave
I
up
think this
they
was
gave up no sacks. The
no
running
sacks.
game was great. What do you give that offensive line?
I'm gonna give them an A as well.
I think if you give the running backs an A, you got to give the
Yeah,
offensive line an A.
and there was some pressure here and there, but
In
that's
this
gonna
game at
happen to
least.
any offensive line. Starting Broderick Jones at right tackle, I think that's gonna be going forward because
What
Dan
I don't
Wolford.
understand, let me cut you off real quick.
Yeah,
He wasn't good enough to play when they had him on the left hand side, but he's good enough for them to throw in a position that he's never played before and do very well at.
no, but like he said, he's like I'm comfortable playing the other side. He's like I'm an athlete. I can play anywhere,
Right.
and
And I agree.
and the reason he started, the official reason, is Chooks was saying stuff on the field during last game's loss that Tomlin did not appreciate. So he told him, "You are benched this week." Told Broderick, "Be ready to play the right side." And Chooks said, "Hey, that's all on me. Only thing I can do is handle my business better. I've been in the league for 6 years. I should know better. And I'm going to help Broad get ready for the game because he's going to go out there and help us win." So, hey, professionalism all around. He, did something he shouldn't have done, took responsibility for it, and helped the guy replacing him. So good, good. I like this. I like this team, man. They're gelling.
All right, I'll get back to a point here in a moment. Let's hop over, Mike, to the defensive side of the ball. What do you give this defensive line? Let's put into consideration what Derrick Henry did, what it was that he
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do, getting opening the right holes for 4 sacks to be made by
Yeah.
our linebackers. Defensive line, you got Cam Hayward back, Mike. What do they
I'm
grade for the night?
gonna give them a solid B.
Yeah.
Yeah, we held Derrick Henry in check. 74 yards for Derrick Henry. That's a hell of a performance. Like you said, we did give up, or they did help generate 4 sacks. A B overall, a B plus. Give them a B plus. I thought Keanu Benton played a hell of a game. Ogunjobi played well. Cam played well, and they were without what Montrevious Adams was out, so the depth was kind of limited there. But everyone who was in there played really well. I was impressed by that group overall.
You know
Wasn't
what I like
loud,
about
but was very
you
impressed.
know like what I like about this bizarre team? Everybody kind of looks by us. I'm reading on a forum last night. It was a excuse me, a Tennessee Titans
Uh
forum.
huh.
They really, really, really thought that they were going to come to Pittsburgh and get this win, and it wasn't going to be anything. And
Yeah.
they had the second coming with this Will Levis. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I think he's a really good young quarterback. He's going to be something. But they really thought that
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh was going to be something that could come and just what, that's what I like about this team. And I think that that's going to continue to happen. Come on,
They're
let's
sneaky.
yeah, right.
They're a sneaky team. You know,
Yeah.
we're an average team that we can rise to the occasion or we can crumble.
Linebacker room, Mike. We're gonna, as always, we bunch them all together, inside, outside, rushers, whatever you want to call them. What do you give our linebackers
I'm give
collectively?
I'm giving them an A. They played a
Four
hell of a
sacks.
game. They played. We had what, a couple 2 sacks from that group. Game winning, game stealing interception.
They were
Yeah, I'm
all
gonna give.
4 sacks.
Oh, they had all 4 sacks. Okay,
Yeah,
my bad. My bad.
two
I apologize.
Highsmith, one TJ, and a Golden.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about Golden. My bad. We talked about him earlier. But yeah, I'm going to give them an A. They played a hell of a game. You know, Landon Roberts, even Mark Robbins, he stepped up after that the injury to Holcomb, and they just kept chugging along, chugging along. And
Yeah,
back to that Holcomb injury, saw a video. Someone was trying to blame Mike Tomlin for that because they had a linebacker covering a wide receiver. You tell me you don't watch football without telling me you don't watch football. You can turn on every game and you will see every team with a linebacker covering a receiver who happened to line up in the slot.
that's why a lot of times I try
That's
to
why I
stay.
love
I
football.
try to
That's
stay
why I
away
love
from
sports fans, man. We are some irrational people sometimes.
the things that people say sometimes when
Because you
having
know
these
what? What
conversations.
surprised me 10 years ago, I probably would have said the same exact thing.
10 minutes ago, I think you would have said the same exact thing.
Probably.
It
Probably.
just all depends what your mood is and
What the
your
mood is.
agenda
Yeah.
is that day.
Yeah. I'm just smart enough not to put it out in the heat of the moment. I
Right.
wait a day.
No, you would never bring it out in the heat of the moment here.
Oh, never. I'm never a heat of a moment kind of guy.
Mike, let's go back to our defensive backfield, our secondary, if
Mm.
you will. I'm talking Joey Porter. I'm talking Patrick Peterson. I'm talking Keanu
John
Neal,
O'Neill,
Kazee.
Kazee.
The whole group. What would you say that they graded for this game?
Mm. Overall collective group, I'm going to go with a C plus collectively.
Yeah.
Collective C plus. There were a couple big gains there. There's like, oh come on, we could have done better. But they also made some really good plays down the stretch. A couple guys, coming up with key pass breakups. So C plus.
Yeah.
But Joey Porter, man, I'm gonna give that kid like an A. Yeah, he had like 3 penalties on that first drive, but after that, my God, he's settled down
And I'm not gonna and he, I made it a point that I'm not gonna talk about him today because we won. because I'm coming across a lot of mixed emotions on him. Some people I'm seeing says he's played the greatest game. Some people said he's played a horrible game. And you know what? I must have to go back and really watch this because I seen him do things one way, I seen him do things the other, and I really don't have that strong of an opinion. Of course, you know that I worked out of town at a
Yeah,
different radio station last night, so I wasn't able to fully
you
focus
focus in.
like I.
Yeah,
So I'm going to watch tape again, probably two
like
or three more times today. But I don't have a full opinion on
yeah,
Porter's performance. But again, Mike, I see say I seen four different people's opinions.
yeah,
They were totally split four different ways
yeah.
about the way he
Yeah,
performed.
he held DeAndre Hopkins to one catch, 17 yards.
Mhm.
Not bad. His tackling, you can see it needs it. There were times where like, that's a good tackle. Other times like, whew, you kind of whiffed on that one. But he's putting the effort in there, so you'll appreciate that when you go back to watch.
You know who needs to put the effort in? Joey Porter Sr. Take Joey Porter Jr. out in the backyard and teach him how to tackle.
I
I
know
mean, come
Joey
on.
Porter Senior. He's like in that Mike Tyson phase of his career. He's the
Is he
happy-go-lucky guy
high?
now. He doesn't look
Yeah,
like he's gonna go out and hit anyone anymore. He's like, oh, my time of doing that's over.
I'm high. I'm just gonna watch the game. Which I don't know if I just threw that together. But you know
Yeah.
what? As you take your kid out in the backyard, you chuck a baseball around with him. Maybe, Dad, come on, you kind of were a good tackler back in your day. So
Just, just pretend he's Joe Flacco back there and just hit
yeah.
him. There goes our starting quarterback for the year.
Special teams. I don't know if there's much you could say about the special teams last night. Of course, Chris Boswell hit two field goals, all of his extra points. I have no complaints on any of Harvin's punts.
No,
And
I was
with
about
the
to say the
return
same
game,
thing.
there really it was non-existent. I mean, what do you give
No,
the special teams, Mike?
either he had some good punts, but like the coverage on a couple of them was like a little. Oh my god, you could have got there, you could have made the tackle, but overall, man,
That one though, the one I
the
can't think of
one,
who it was, but he was there like as the ball.
yeah. You know what? But looking at the stats, we only had two kicks and they only had 8 yards.
You know the play I'm talking about? We punted
Yeah,
the
like the
ball
guy was like right there. He tried to run and we just
and
killed him.
he got him. I mean, it was a loss of I think he
It was
lost
a
a yard.
loss of a loss of a yard because they had an 8 yard return. So maybe I misremembered the punting. So I'm gonna give them an A. Special teams an A.
Hey, right. Yeah, there was nothing that hurt us from special
Yeah.
teams. So when that happens,
Look, 4 punts, 200 yards, three inside the 20 along the 62. Harvin bounced back.
yeah, that's a good
That's because we didn't ask him to directional kick. Just boom it down there, buddy. Just boom it, and he did well.
last but not least, last but not least, I'm going to ask you, Mike, to grade this coaching staff with Matt Canada down on the field, with everything that's going on. I mean, Coach Tomlin has to deal with this. It seems like a different situation a week.
Mm-hmm.
You're losing best player on the defense. I mean, you could argue
Yeah.
we know Minka, and then again, what the way that Cole Holcomb's been playing, coaching, putting a game plan together, when finding ways to win and winning this game. What do you give Mike the coaching staff for this week's game?
I'm gonna give them an A.
You know
Uh,
what? In a weird kind of way, I don't have a problem with that.
yeah, like the offense, plays were there all game long. There's nothing that you're really like, oh, why'd we do that? Then we ran that wildcat. I had no problem with it.
I
Try and
think if
catch
you
some
throw
off
that in
guard.
every once in a while, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, that's fine. The two reverses that we ran were, they were effective. They worked. Defense, you hold Derrick Henry to 74 yards. You don't give up a single touchdown, run or pass. You hold D Hop to 60 yards. That's an A. No blunders on special teams. Teams are going to, get yards it's the NFL. Teams are going to get yards.
Absolutely, you're playing the best of
So,
the best. Guys are going to
yeah,
get
people are going to
theirs.
find ways to, you can't win every battle. Offense is
Right.
going to win more than the defense. But hey, you know what? I give this coaching staff an A.
And I seen. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
I was
There
kind of
was like
jumping
nothing
around anyway.
glaring that
Yeah.
I want to critique on the coaching.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. I don't know why, but I don't. I want to have a problem with it, but I
Me
don't.
too. Me too. I want to have a problem. We're so conditioned to, everyone else complaining about the coaching staff, so we have to jump on it too. But no, there was nothing that glared out at me.
So I'm adding one this week, Mike, a collective team grade. Just an overall team grade. What do you grade this team? We've never done this before. We're adding the collective team grade. What would you say?
B plus.
Yeah.
B plus. It. Like, it's hard to give this team an A. You know,
Yeah, it really
it
is.
really is. But
And when that happens, when the day comes where we can actually give this team an A, we're all just going to be so blown away.
yeah,
Can you imagine watching a flawless Steeler game where
we
there's
had what 160 yards passing and 166 rushing. We still have yet to hit over 300
a
400 yards, but
we're
it was
getting close. We're
effective.
inching closer. We got like
We're inching closer. It was an
360.
effective
Yeah,
game. But yeah, I'm gonna give them a B. I thought the team played well. They responded well to the injury to Holcomb. Next man up, and we didn't. He didn't miss a beat. Missing Minka, who might be the hardest guy to replace on this team. It's no offense to TJ Watt, defensive player of the year, but Minka controlling that back end, I thought it was going to be terrible this week, and they did well. So B plus for me.
and again, as I
coach
said,
on
Minka
down.
was voted the top safety in the league again by
Yeah,
the Associated Press. You lose that guy out of any defense,
yeah,
there's gonna be an effect.
it's
There's
gonna be
gonna be
huge.
yeah.
Yeah, because we don't
Um,
have the depth there like we do at inside and outside backer.
what do you think about these two other safeties? How do you think that Keanu Neal and KZ are playing? What's your
Uh, this game it didn't seem like they were out of position much. I think like one time because if I remember watching, thinking, and even the I think Herb Street said it too. Like, oh man, if Minka's there, that pass isn't getting completed. But that's only like one time they mentioned how big of a loss Minka was missed. So they did well. The whole, they schemed well. The defense did. But how long can they keep that up? Because no one on this team is at Minka's level. There's very few safeties at his level. So it's going to take a collective effort back there. But I think they played well. I wasn't like worried with them back there like I was last week.
yeah?
They had at least this week, they had a couple days to prepare, knowing that they were going to be out there.
You know what's good news? On top of having 10 days off, now the team can sit back and watch football this
Mm-hmm.
weekend. You could watch your division foes. You could watch the
Yep.
Packers because that's who you got next. That's always a good thing. And then you have time to heal. You have time to rest.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have time to prepare to game plan. We came in on a short week. We got the win. Now we have the extra. We have the luxury of having a little bit of extra time to sit
Yeah.
back and prepare.
It's like a mini bye week.
And on top of this, you got to say the good things you look forward to also is at some point Minka Fitzpatrick will be back. And
Yeah.
at some point Pat Fryermuth will be back. And things are going to get better. So if the
Mm-hmm.
Steelers can hang in there and keep, as I said, dragging people down and kicking their ass
Mm-hmm.
on the ground, so it's gonna get better. You gotta you
Yeah.
gotta think that there's gonna be better days, and hopefully down the road that those things add up and we could, I think I'm not gonna give it a prediction, but I think we're gonna have a nice season. It's gonna be an okay season
Yeah.
for what it is.
If this line can keep gelling the way they are, I'd keep this line up. I'd Mason Cole played a pretty good game. He's been subjected to the fans' ire, and he played well. Siamalu and Daniels played well. Dan Moore played well. Broderick Jones played well. Just keep that. That might be year 5 right there.
Yeah,
And just go out there and Chooks. Hey, you fucked up and you lost your spot, but keep doing what you're doing because you never know. You never know when Dan Moore might slip up. You never know when Roderick Jones might slip up, in a game to where, hey, we're gonna take you out, watch the game, let it slow down for you, and get back in there next week. But I'd keep this 5, keep that 5, because this was the best game outside of the Baltimore game where they were opening up holes. They really weren't giving up a lot of pressure. Keep that line and just grow from there because that's what happened end of last year, man. That line grew. We were able to run the ball. We were able to run play action because Kenny's pretty good out of the play action.
yeah.
So,
Mike, we got 7 minutes left in the show. We gotta jump over to college football briefly. Pitt, they play number 4 Florida State tomorrow at 3:30. Of course, Pitt
oof.
lost 58-7 last week to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They play number 4 Florida State. I can't imagine that that's going to end out too good. Number 9 Penn State plays Maryland. This game's at 3:30 also.
That's going to be a tough game. And no joke, Penn State, Maryland always seem to be tough games.
You always say that about everybody.
I
Like the
because they
Northwestern
are because
game is always really
Penn
tough.
State plays down
Indiana
to the
games are
level.
really good.
Penn
Illinois
State
games are tough.
Well, look at last
Northwestern
week's
always
score
plays
against
us tough.
Indiana. Indiana was a close
Penn
game.
State beats every team, and then they lose those same 2 games every
Yeah, but they
year.
play,
They
but
get a
they have a
good bowl
danger,
game. They
but
win
they
the
have a
bowl
danger
game. They
of
come back
losing those
next year. They're going to
games
be great.
because they play
They
down to
finish
their
number 7
competition.
every year. I don't know how they do it.
Because we play down to our competition against some of these bad Big Ten teams, man, and that scares me because one bounce either way, and then boom, that team starts rolling, and then Penn State gets discouraged, and then next thing you know, an upset loss. It's bound to happen. I think Maryland's going to be the one to do it because when it comes to Penn State football, I am a huge fan, but I am so pessimistic.
We also have from the Big Ten Conference number one in the land, Ohio State. They play Rutgers. This ought to be a great game.
Oh yeah.
That game's at noon. A couple other notable games. The number 2 Georgia Bulldogs play the number 12 Missouri. Number 5 Washington plays number 20 USC. Number 7 Texas plays number 23 Kansas State. Number 8 Alabama plays number 14 LSU. And finally, number 9 Oklahoma plays number 22 Oklahoma State. So a lot of ranked games, a lot of teams that are
Mm-hmm.
ranked both ways going at it this weekend. So remember the ones that matter. Pitt's 3:30, Penn State's 3:30, and for those that care, Ohio State is at noon. Also,
Ooh,
Mike,
Ohio State.
tomorrow the Penguins back in action. Finally, it seems like been forever since the last time they've hit the ice. They are out west, starting the longest road trip of the season in San Jose. 10 o'clock tomorrow. They play the Sharks. Mike, the last game the Sharks played, I mentioned they have 1 point.
Uh-huh.
The last game they played, they lost 10-0 to the Canucks.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what, last night, I
Yeah,
think.
ten
Yeah.
nothing.
If
Say it, say it.
the Penguins are going to lose. I feel it in my bones.
And then they'll come out next week and beat Vancouver. Or
Yeah, I just feel it. I feel it. I have that sick feeling in my stomach because everyone on Twitter, they're like, there's no way the Penguins are going to lose this, right?
I heard these
Even
guys
beat
are
writers are like, there's
really
no
bad.
way they could lose this,
We're a
right?
good team playing bad. I think I'm reading that these guys are just bad. They don't do nothing well.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like Pittsburgh, you see the talent there. They should be better than what they are. But San Jose,
Got about four of the best name. You know what I mean? Come on.
you want to talk about like a team that plays another team tough? San Jose, I swear, I remember when they were an expansion team, they would beat the Penguins.
Yeah.
It's just they're high scoring games when the Penguins and the Sharks play.
Down the road, 20 years, 50 years, when people like that are hockey fans look back, you're gonna know Crosby, you're gonna know Malkin, you're gonna know Tang, you're gonna know
Yeah.
Carlson. How
Yeah.
this team isn't, they're gonna look and say,
this team is 3-6
yeah.
instead of 6-3. It's beyond me.
And you have some other really great players as well, like Gensel and
Yep.
come on, they're not a bad team.
No, they're just plain bad.
Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website, man?
The 2dumbyinjers.com. Head on over there. Everything 2dumbyinjers. All of our social links are over there. Merch stores over there. Fresh blog post is up over there. Yeah, check it out.
All right, everybody go check it out. www.the2dumbyinjers.com. That's www.the2dumbyinjers.com. My question of the day, we're going to kick off a Packers question because that is who we play next.
Yeah.
I think you're going to do all right with this one.
I
knew this one. I did know this one. I think if you think you'll know it as well. All right. Are you ready? Green Bay Packers, next team on our schedule, 10 days from now. Here we go. What team originally drafted Brett Favre?
Oh.
What team originally drafted Brett Favre? Go ahead and take a minute to think that over. If you want the one choice, I'll certainly give them to you. We are live, everybody. We're live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And if you just want to listen to the show in podcast form, maybe you're at the gym, maybe you're in the car, you'll have an opportunity to listen. The brand new show that we do live every day gets uploaded at 8 o'clock p.m. over on Spotify. Go check it out. All right, Mike, question of the day. Starting Green Bay Packers trivia, because that is who the Steelers play next. My question to you is this: what team originally drafted Brett Favre? Do you want to take a shot or do you want choices?
Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right, let me lock you in place. There you go. Mike, the question is this: what team originally drafted Brett Favre? The choices, just for shits and giggles, are Denver, Atlanta, Dallas, or Buffalo. You chose Atlanta. Would you like to keep your answer or would you like to change it?
What were the choices again?
Denver, Atlanta, Dallas
Nope.
or Buffalo?
Yep. Yep. Atlanta.
All right. Wasn't much I could do anyway. I locked you into place.
Yeah.
Could I have done? The answer, of course, is Atlanta. Yes, the Falcons did draft Brett Favre. There you have it. Great job, everybody. Mike, anything before we get ready to take off?
Um, enjoy the win, Steeler fans. Don't nitpick at
Yes.
everything.
Don't think it's too good. Don't get overexcited, but don't nitpick everything. Just enjoy it. Can you just enjoy it? It's one thing. It's one question I want to know about football fans. Can you just enjoy the game?
No, no, they can't. Everyone is an analyst now.
Well, everyone's a troll now.
Everyone's a troll. Everyone's an analyst.
Yeah. We do want to thank everybody for checking us out. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you. We couldn't do it without you.
Yes, love it.
So your thought of the day was enjoy the
Enjoy the
game.
win.
Mine is this. I'm kind of having a little debate with myself, Mike. And I wanted to start to show this, but I didn't want to bore everybody because we had a lot to talk about in Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seriously debating getting. Nah, I don't know.
Say it. Say it.
Well, okay. Let me paint the picture first. We got a couple minutes. I've been doing a lot of with going to the other studio for work and
Uh-huh.
carrying my headphones back and forth and this back and forth. I carry a plastic bag, which makes me look like a bag
Yeah.
lady or I'm thinking about getting a man purse.
Oh, like a satchel.
Yeah, like a European.
Yeah, they're tactical. They're practical.
I don't know. Do people still? I need something. I can't keep
Yeah, people
carrying
use them all
John
the
Eagle
time.
bags
Yeah.
around with me. They got holes in them. I got
Yeah,
falling out everywhere.
dude. A lot of people use them, man. They're professional looking.
But they're man purses.
No, it's a satchel. Indiana Jones had a satchel.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not calling Indiana Jones a man. This
Keep
man
my
punched Nazis in the faces.
keep my gold nuggets or whatever the hell he had in his saddle.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta think of something. Like I said, it's kind of
You
getting
need a satchel.
embarrassing.
You need a satchel.
I'm meeting different people, these different studios, and there I come walking in with my John Eagle bag, and I got big holes, and my headphone wires are hanging out the bottom, and so I might invest in a man purse, a satchel,
A satchel.
a belly bag, as Steeler Freak calls it.
We can get you a
I'm not. No, I'm not. No, don't even say it. I'm not wearing
get
that.
you a fanny pack,
I'm not
bro.
wearing a fanny pad. It's not going to happen. Not even if there's a fire.
Uh,
So there you have it. But hey, we do want to thank everybody for checking us out. As we said, anything else, Mike?
no, that's all I got. That's all I got, man. Purse.
All right. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. A lot of great football left to go. A lot of good college. A lot of good. There's about 3 good pro games that I can't wait to watch. Um, enjoy the weekend in football. We'll be back first thing in the morning Monday to talk all about it.
Oh
Until
yeah.
then, for Mike, myself, the two Yinzers, everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
See you.